Of the 8 billion people on Earth, only 1% are rich. This means that very few actually cover the 35 trillion in global wealth. This video will focus on highlighting how the wealthy travel and how they live a lavish lifestyle without even realizing it. Within their own circles, they create relationships with other millionaires. But many times, this circle is shrinking because every time they earn more, they can afford more expensive things. And in this way, they live full of travel and fun. With the absurd levels of spending by millionaires, it's no wonder that there's an industry that supports this type of travel for the wealthiest, which helps to vary the quality of travel for the 295,000 richest people in the world today. And as the world we live in keeps changing, the travel of these people is becoming more and more eccentric and extravagant. In part, this fact, along with others, contributed to something called the Billionaire Social Calendar, which contains a route for billionaires to enjoy their nomadic life through expensive and incredible trips. Now, you have to wonder, how and where does this route start? Well, this route begins in the Caribbean islands in the month of January. The order may vary or change the list of places they visit. In February, it may include the Super Bowl, and in March, it may include something like skiing in the Swiss Alps in a private chalet. And it goes on as it covers all of the months of the year and the seasons. The idea of this social calendar that contains within itself a route is to showcase strategic points where they use ostentatious yachts, accompanied by visiting places like Australia, England, or even Miami Beach. But beyond enjoying the places and trips, or even worrying about their yachts and possessions, millionaires at events like these tend to rub elbows with other people who are in the same economic position. Many don't even go to all the events in this calendar. They just adapt to the ones that they can attend, or the ones they're most interested in, even taking into account who will go to show off their money and successes and continue with the competition for who is more wealthy. Because, yes, that's the world of the rich. Other millionaires are pressured and forced to attend these kind of events to maintain their social position. But it's not only about attending, they also are forced to make expenses that many times they're not interested in making, or buy things that they're not interested in having, just to be able to show them at these events and maintain their position within the circle of the richest millionaire class. That was the case of Jeff Bezos, who started this year in a very particular way in St. Bart's in a huge yacht, accompanied by his partner Lawrence Sanchez, who spent a huge amount of money to make their visit to St. Bart's memorable. They also had to take their private jets to a neighboring island as they were too big for the runway in St. Bart's. After some flights to other locations, they began this year with their huge yacht making its presence in St. Bart's. A current phenomenon that is happening in the world of the very rich is that they've started to travel less frequently. Curiously, others think it's because of the current economic system that is starting to collapse. Maybe the wealthy want to preserve their money, but nothing could be further from the truth. The fact is, millionaires have more money now than ever before. With the world in economic crisis, their money has been consolidated and they're spending more and more. It's been indicated that before the COVID pandemic, Americans spent an average of $5,000 to take a trip to Greece, but now this price has increased to $6,500. Among so many economic changes in today's world, what is most surprising is that the prices and rates are as high as they have ever been, but on the other hand, premium-level properties are being built and opening faster than ever before. It's as if the system is designed to make those who are already rich richer, and to make those who do not have a good income poorer. Everything has become more of an uphill battle for those who want to become rich, especially for those starting out at the bottom. But for those who are on their way or are already very rich, they just keep on going and growing. This has meant that for the wealthy who are already stable, going on vacation becomes something they want to do in style. Since none of them want to do anything repetitive, but need to have something unique that will catch the attention of others, they spend thousands of dollars paying travel planning specialists, which can include anything from a meal at a Michelin-starred restaurant to renting private beaches and participating in unique excursions that represent a mix of exotic cultures. But that's not all, and there's something we have to keep in mind. The richest people hate to travel alone. Although they're always seen in their private yachts or arriving in their personal jets, nothing is more boring to them than not being able to show in a group what they can achieve. The world of the richest puts showing off personal success first, and believe it or not, this is even above the enjoyment of travel itself. For this and more, they love to travel in social groups. They'll visit places like Iceland, the Bahamas, and private islands in the company of wealthy people with the same social position as them. A curiosity that cannot be overlooked is that these trips have behind them the desire to make professional relationships by rubbing shoulders with other people who are within the millionaire milieu. So, after knowing all these facts, it's impossible to think that the rich travel just for fun. There is always a cause behind these trips, and being honest, it makes sense, since millionaires are people who have houses and excessive comforts where they can have fun whenever they please. If they want to swim alone in a giant pool or a jacuzzi, they can probably do it just by taking a few steps into their garden. Or if they want to watch a movie in a movie theater, many of them just have to go up to the second floor of their house because they have one right there. Game rooms, gyms, even museums inside their own homes are just some of the possible attractions they can find without having to walk through the front door. Finally, it's good to know that the most touristic places or #1 destinations in the world, such as Paris, New York, Venice, are not visited by the wealthy on a recurrent basis, since they prefer above all to avoid crowds. In the case of visiting crowded places, they don't stay there for only a couple of days, but seek to live in that city for 1 to 6 months in order to absorb as much as they can of the culture, and thus live the experience of soaking up something completely that certainly could not be achieved in a week's vacation. And should they wish to choose a place out of the ordinary, which is not so crowded, it's clear that they look for places that are hidden enough. They go to places like Esfahan in Iran, Tbilisi in Georgia, or Seyðisfjörður in Iceland. The wealthy love cabins in remote corners, boat trips in exotic waters, trips through rarely flown skies, and anything that deals with exclusivity, as clearly it's what breaks them out of the mold with ordinary locals visiting crowded destinations. Contrary to popular beliefs that the wealthy often travel alone to enjoy themselves and relax, we've seen through this video that they do just the opposite. They travel to do business, interact with crowds of their social status, and demonstrate within their circle that they have money, while at the same time they let people see how they enjoy things as a millionaire and the exotic travel route calendar. But we could also learn that if they are smitten by a culture or a country, they might move there for at least half a year to absorb the best of the place. Either way, life as it's lived by the rich may be somewhat incomprehensible to those of us who are not rich, but still, it's interesting to learn from. If you liked this video, please like, subscribe, and share it with your friends who might want to be a millionaire. See you next time.